Hi, everybody, and welcome to Hidden Compass on Facebook Live. It's been a minute since we've been on here. I'm Savani Babu.
I'm Sabine K. Bergman.
And we are the co-founders of Hidden Compass, and we're joined today by the first ever winners of our Pathfinder Prize. For those of you who missed it at the end of last year, the Pathfinder Prize is a $15,000 grant to fund an expedition of the modern age. And we are so excited to be speaking to these folks. Sabine, why don't you launch us into it?
I will. So the thing that's really amazing about the Pathfinder Prize is that it is a team, it is an expedition chosen by members of our Modern Exploration Society, the Alliance. The team that won is the expedition title is In Tete's Footsteps, a cultural expedition to Greenland. They are set to head out to Greenland on April 3rd, which is very, very soon. So we have a couple of questions for them before they go. But first, I want to have each expeditioner introduce themselves. Let's start with the expedition leader, Lola.
Hi, so my name is Lola Kimade Orchestrum. I'm a visual storyteller, and I am excited and honored to be leading this expedition in Tete's Footsteps.
That's great. And Eric, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, my name is Erik Jaråker. I'm from Sweden, and I'll be the videographer on the expedition.
And the third expeditioner is Na. You want to jump in?
Yeah, hi, my name is Na Saro-Wiwa. I'm an author and travel writer. I'm Nigerian by birth, and I live in London.
Thank you all. We're so excited for your expedition and to be talking to you today. Your expedition, like Sabine mentioned, is called In Tete's Footsteps, a cultural expedition in Greenland. So tell us a little bit more about, who is Tete and in what footsteps are you going to be following? Lola, why don't you?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So Tete Michel Komase is the first African to have ever set foot in Greenland, to have lived there, to have really adopted the culture as well. And so in the 80s, he wrote a book called An African in Greenland, which has now been retitled Tete Michel the Giant. And so following in his footsteps, he is somebody who has inspired both my career and No's career as travel writers, and more importantly, spotlighted who gets to tell the story of a place, right? Because oftentimes when we go and spend time in different cultures, we have to be sensitive about the cultures. But with Tete being a minority, a Black man, talking with authority about this culture that he knows very well, how was that received? And it wasn't until just last year that people actually knew about him. It was just a few, just in really small circles who knew about his story. So the world was quite surprised that this incredible man, this legend, a maverick, wrote this book and created, kind of inspired the next generation of travel writers. So we want to, go to Greenland and not just compare and contrast, kind of East Greenland as well as our own modern experiences in Greenland from a cultural aspect, from a climate change aspect, from just in terms of preserving tradition and moving into the next century. So it's just a real honor to be able to follow in his path.
That's well put, Lola. Na or Eric, did you want to jump in with anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, reading his book, it's one of the best travel books I've ever read. He's not just an ordinary travel writer. He really explored Greenland in real anthropological detail. He went into the psyche, the way they prayed, the way they hunted, relations, even sexual relations between the people. You're left with a real sort of very clear idea of what Greenland was like back in the 70s. But obviously that was like 40, 50 years ago, and a lot will have changed by then. And so, I'm fascinated to see, what the Greenland of today looks like compared to the Greenland that Tete Michel described in such incredible detail 50 years ago. So I'm very, very excited.
Wonderful.
I also think it's such a great book. I've got it here. I can really recommend it for anyone to read. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a great travel story. And I'm super excited to follow his footsteps and hopefully meet some people that he met or when he was there, to see what it was like, and to talk to them what their experience of him was, etc. So I'm very, very excited about that.
This is great, and that it really is an incredible book that takes place over many, many years. And so for those who haven't read the book, you should get a copy and you should read it, and then you can follow along with the expedition team as they go. I think it has been something like 50 or 60 years since the book was published. For those who aren't familiar with the book, what does it cover? What's in it, and what's the story that Tete tells?
Absolutely. So the book was published in the 80s. So about maybe 30, 40 years ago. And it starts with him in Togo. So, he grew up in Togo, and he came across this book about the Eskimos. And I'm using that word because that's the word he uses then. That was in a missionary bookshop or library in Togo. And so he became fascinated. And so the book kind of covers, first of all, the first 10 years that it takes to get from Togo to Greenland, over land and across the ocean, and then the couple of years he spent. And so it's a transformative journey of just from his roots, from his own personal transformation in terms of going from community to finding a different kind of community, to finding that connection in the quote unquote other, and then sharing in such detail and in kind of raw detail what he was experiencing, seeing unfiltered. And I think that's where you get the best travel writing, when it's ground level, showing you versus telling you how to feel. And so anybody that reads this book is in for a treat. It covers just a range. It challenges your views, it challenges your emotions, but it's an incredible piece of work.
Yeah, I learned so much, even his section about the dogs, the huskies, and I had no idea how scary they can be, and that they're not friendly pets, and people's kind of attitudes towards them. If someone was killed by one of the dogs, it was the way that people responded to that was really interesting. And so his book is just it's full of so many insights on every level, and again whenever you read the things that he talks about, you find yourself asking, what's it like now? Is it still like that now? And so I'm just so excited to find out.
Fantastic. I will also second the book. It is a fantastic read. I highly recommend that folks who are out there, if they haven't read it, that they get a copy and dive in. I want to talk about all of you as a team, though, for a second. Tell us about the three of you as an expedition team, how you came together, and what each of you bring to the table, and what are you excited about when it comes to working together? Eric, why don't you start this one?
I've been traveling for a long time, so that is really in me. But now I get to travel with experienced travelers who also can put it into words and are really, really great authors. So that's an honor to have such great travel companions. And having Tete as the base of the whole expedition is super cool, I think, because it's from an African perspective. And now I'm traveling with two people who are from Africa, also West Africa. So for me, it's going to be interesting to observe that and be on an expedition of modern African explorers in Greenland. So yeah, and hopefully I'll get some really good images of Greenland and the people we meet.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I was thinking about this idea and thinking about who the ideal team will be, who do I respect? Who would immediately get it? No was the first person that came to mind. I mean, we had met before this, just a big fan of your work, good friends. And so I was like, who would make the perfect team member? I mean, without any further explanation of what we were trying to do. And Noah was the only person I could think of. And so in terms of bringing skills to the team, we have overlapping skills, but that's what also makes it great, is that I can focus on, say, the photography, the imagery. Noah is just a fantastic writer, can focus on that, but we can also overlap, right? Because she's also a great photographer, and I'm also, a writer and author. So there's a lot of that overlap as well. It's so for me, it was just a no-brainer. There was no one else that I thought could do this expedition in the spirit, especially with Tete inspiring both our careers, us having long careers within the travel industry, traveling with intention, the way we both do. It was a dream team. And so I was just excited when I approached Noah, and she was like, of course, it's Tete Michelle, so that's and of course with Eric, I'm not forgetting Eric as well. Eric and I, we've traveled on different travel projects together, and just in terms of his eye and in terms of his spirit, and it's just one of those incredible souls. And so I'm just excited to work with you as well as a videographer. We've worked on many videography projects. So with Eric, it's just saying one word and he gets it, kind of in terms of creative direction. So I'm super excited about this team.
Yeah, I mean, when I got the email from Lola, which feels like a long time ago now, saying that she wanted to embark on this project, I was so excited. At the same time, I thought it'll never happen. How could it possibly? It's like a dream. And here we are. I'm still pinching myself. And the makeup of the team is so interesting because we're following in the footsteps of an African who stayed in Greenland. And on the one hand, you've got Eric, who is Nordic, Swedish, so there's some sort of cultural affinity with the Danish people and the Danish aspect of Greenland. And you might have some really interesting insights on that, which I'm looking forward to hearing about. And then Lola's like, sort of bang in the middle. She's Nigerian, but at the same time lives in Sweden, has Swedish children, and so she's that perfect bridge between Africa and Scandinavia. And then there's me, who's kind of basically in the same position that Tete was in before he went to Greenland, which is, I'm very much a sort of West African, grown up in England, but very little experience of the Arctic. And so it will be very, very interesting. And as Lola said, we all have different skills that are kind of overlapping. And I love the fact that I'm traveling with two people who are really good photographers, because as a travel writer, I can never focus on photography. You have to focus on one or the other, and it's going to be so nice to have people bring my words to life, to visualize what I'm writing about, and knowing that the photos will be beautiful as well is I'm really excited about that. So yeah, can't wait.
Too. I mean, the makeup of this team is really incredible, and as you've each pointed out, you have all these different cultural perspectives. You just described this as a cultural expedition. It's really a multicultural expedition, a cross-cultural expedition, and then also your varying skill sets, incredible videography and photography, and written stories. So I'm really excited to see that all come together. And you're all leaving very soon, April 3rd, which is about 10 days from this live event. How are you all feeling? What are you doing to prepare? Let's start with you, Lola, since you are the expedition leader.
Well, I think, for us, we've got weight limits in terms of what we can pack and take with us to Greenland and to fly on Air Greenland. So we have to really pack smartly, in a productive and efficient way. I'm also getting ready for the unexpected, right? Because it's Greenland in April. And in the Nordics, we have what we call April weather, which is April weather. We just don't know what the weather is going to be. So we're really crossing our thumbs for really great weather while we're there, and making sure that we just pack what we need while we're there, because some of the places we're going to be are going to be quite remote, you know, and yeah, but it's really snuck up on snuck up on us. Like it's already less than a month, and we're like, what? So yeah, so it's now a matter of making sure we get, you know, pack right, and we've got a fantastic gear partner, North Face, you know, so we're really excited about this. Yeah.
Now, how about you?
Yeah, it's coming really soon, and you know, we've got sponsorship from North Face, and they've sent me my gear already. So I received my Arctic boots and my jacket and hat and everything. So that's just made everything a lot more real. I'm really, really excited. And yeah, you know, I'm kind of looking up Greenlandic food and just reading what Tete wrote about, you know, reindeer fat and all these kinds of, you know, interesting drinks and foods that people have in Greenland or had in Greenland. So, you know, I want to be ready to, you know, ask for these sorts of things. And so I'm doing my research in that respect. And yeah, can't wait.
And Eric?
Yeah, I'm preparing my camera gear and making sure that, you know, I got everything, and going through that checklist, and of course the warm weather gear, and to be prepared for different kind of weathers and scenarios. And yeah, I'm just super excited that it's so close.
Yeah, we can't wait to see where this goes and what you guys discover as you're traveling. It is a dream team for a dream expedition. And just want to wrap things up by asking, you know, is there anything else you'd like to say to the Hidden Compass audience and others who are going to be following along with your expedition? And now, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank you know, everyone once again for voting for us and giving us this, you know, once in a lifetime opportunity. And you know, I hope that we can illuminate Greenland and give you insights that that you wouldn't have otherwise received. And yeah, you know, please do ask questions along the way, and you know, so that we can think about ways in which we can cover the country and fill any gaps in people's knowledge and curiosity.
What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I would like to say, like, read this book. It's a great read, and because you're really following in the footsteps of Tete and visiting the places that he are visiting. He visited. So yeah, that's what I would like to say. I really enjoyed reading this book. It's very inspiring.
Well, just to echo both Noah and Eric, you know, first of all, thank you so much, you know, for this incredible opportunity. Again, once in a lifetime experience. And we're so excited to be able to go and experience and bring some incredible imagery and words back. But also that this is also about giving the people that paved the way for us their flowers, right? And so for us, this is also a way of honoring Tete, that even though he has been ignored for many years, that we're not ignoring him. We've seen what he's done. He's paved the way for the next generation of storytellers, especially those who want to really write about culture, spend time in different cultures, and write with authority, even though they are not from the place. So this is just a privilege for me, and one of the highlights of my own career as an author and travel writer. Yeah, so.
Well, thank you all for joining us today and for getting us excited for your expedition. It's going to be incredible to follow along with you and to follow in your footsteps. For those who are watching and want to be the first to know about what's happening with in Tete's footsteps as an expedition, you can subscribe to our newsletter. You go to hiddencompass.net. That's our website, and subscribe to our newsletter there. You'll get updates from the team. And if you want exclusive content and behind the scenes updates, you should join our alliance, which is our Modern Exploration Society. And once you join that, you can access the extra content and the behind the scenes updates through your ally portal. So if you've been thinking about joining the alliance, this is a good time to do it. to follow along with this expedition. And I'll echo the expeditioners by saying, pick up a copy of Tete's book. It was originally published as An African in Greenland, and then it was republished as, I think it's Michelle the Giant.
Michelle
right?
the Giant, yes. Michelle
Great.
the Giant.
So pick that up and that'll get you in the right mood and perhaps almost as excited as our Pathfinder team. So thank you all for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.